guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about things I've learned about living in LA part 2. If you haven't seen my first video, I will link it down below about part 1. I'll also have it like right up here for you. Number 1 is make sure you have a good cushion in the bank before you move out here. It's a very expensive city to live in, especially nowadays. Do not expect to live on your own. Honestly, like I feel like so many people are like, I don't want to have roommates, and it's like looked down upon, but honestly, chill. It is expensive. It is more than okay to have a roommate or 2 or 3 or whatever size place that you get. So definitely expect to live with someone. It is very rare that people live on their own. Before moving out here, make sure you have 3 months rent and that you have a couple of extra cushiony amount of money. So for things like utilities, car payments, groceries, miscellaneous spendings. And then as a bonus, if you are an actor, you need to calculate how much headshots are going to cost, classes, casting networks, and like Actors Access monthly payments or whatever. So you do have to consider that little aspect as well, which is like an extra amount of money for us actors out there. Before moving out here, make sure you save up some money and that you have a job when you move out here, so you're not just like aimlessly wandering around, because it could be scary and infuriating to try and look for one. Job search is not great, not fun. Number 2, you're gonna need a car. So there is public transit, but from what I know, it's not the best. I personally haven't taken one here in Los Angeles. When I lived in San Diego, I took the bus and the trolley everywhere, and actually that one's pretty good. I mean, I still find a car to be way more handy, but the public transportation down there wasn't bad at all. However, here I feel like it's not as popular, so therefore it's pretty scarce. So I would recommend getting a car, because also Ubers have gotten really expensive, and it's just, personally, I don't think it's a realistic mode of transportation. You know, maybe if you need one on occasion, but going everywhere every day in an Uber, I feel like it's going to cost you a lot of unnecessary money. Number 3, it can be difficult to land an apartment and a job, or a job, I guess depends what field you're working in, if you're not here, but especially an apartment. Yeah, you kind of either have to like fly in here if you're really out of town, drive in here and look for places that are for rent. Obviously online is very useful as well, but it's gonna be a little hard to land a place if you don't actually physically come here or are here. With a job, obviously depends on the field that you're in. You know, people can hire you from out of town and then you fly in here to work. Remote work is pretty popular still nowadays, hybrid work, but it can be a little difficult to kind of land a job or an apartment here if you're not actually here. So do consider that aspect before moving. Do put that planning on your schedule, budget that money in there as well, because even when we lived in San Diego, Liz and I would drive up here and just like circle all around LA looking for just like apartment notes, because they will list some things on like the websites and stuff, the various websites that are available, but some places won't. You literally just have to drive around and like then just call and be like, hey, can I see your apartment? Hey, can I see an apartment? And like, so we actually looked at a couple places just by that. Like they weren't even listed on any sort of website, which is a little annoying, but I get it. Like everyone has their own ways, so you kind of have to go with the flow. So yeah, it can be a little difficult, but do not get discouraged. It will happen. It will. Just have to have patience and commitment to finding a place. So for number 4, piggybacking off of the apartment search and stuff, do read your lease carefully when you get one. And also before you even find a place, I recommend also coming here, because you kind of want to look around the areas and see where you want to live. Because especially if you're from out of town, like you don't know where anything is or what anything looks like. You're kind of like, oh, Van Nuys, sure. Oh, Santa Monica, sure. You're like, it means nothing to you. Like I could literally pick up any city on the map and be like, yeah, I guess that looks fine. I don't know. So if you come here and you start driving around, looking around, you're like, maybe that's not the neighborhood I want to live in, or, oh, that looks really nice, or, ooh, never mind, too expensive, you know, go back to the other one. That's what I did. Make sure you kind of look around and see kind of pinpoint where you like to ideally live. And that way you can also kind of get a sense of direction and like the vibe of the city as a whole, but also like little parts that you're going to be living in as well. Number 5 is kind of, again, piggybacking off of the first one, is that you will most likely need to find roommates and live with someone. So if you're moving out here by yourself, it could be a little frustrating, I know, to find a place and make sure the person that you're living with is going to be not a crazy psycho, I guess. Can't really verify that ever until you live with them. If you move out here with someone, it's definitely easier, but obviously most people don't. You kind of come here on your own to start your life and start building whatever life you want. There are a couple of Facebook groups that have like housing for like actors, and if you're not in the industry, then there's obviously like Craigslist, although do be careful with Craigslist, please, 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 please be smart and careful, okay, please. Same with Facebook groups. Just be careful. Just be careful. But just know that it's not an embarrassing thing to have to live with people. A lot of people live with others. You know, it's pretty rare when people find an apartment and can live on their own or like with their spouse or significant other. So do know that, but also know that it's just temporary. You know, you're not going to live with them forever. You're going to probably switch out roommates a couple of times. And I have seen people become really good friends with their roommates. Like they were kind of just like, kind of maybe knew them, maybe they didn't even know them at all. And all of a sudden they became friends. And that's a great way to make friends too. So you never know. Be open to the idea, and it will also save you a ton of money by splitting all the rent and the utilities so that you can invest that money into something else. Number 6 is to immerse yourself in the city, especially if you're not from California. I know it can be like a culture shock for other people. So start immersing yourself in the city. There is so much to do and so much to see here, and so much to explore. A lot of museums, a lot of festivals, a lot of concerts. There's a lot of workshops you can take, a lot of classes. You don't even have to be in the entertainment industry to even take them. Just like do it for fun. Why not? And aside from that, there's so many other classes that you can take as well. So do your research, see what interests you, get involved. Great way to make friends, great way to make connections and network with people is going to things like that. And this city is, I feel like, such a fast-paced city that there's always something new, always something going on. You can always find something to do. Again, it's going to cost money, so that's where your little cushion is going to come in for things like that. But I definitely recommend kind of like immersing yourself and being open to new people, new ideas, new everything. Just have an open mind. And that goes for life in general. Have an open mind. We need that. And number 7, kind of random, but be prepared for earthquakes and forest fires. Forest fires? Brush fires? Wildfires? Be prepared. All the fires. So if you don't know, California is very dry, and pretty much every single year starting, I don't know, as early as it could be as August, generally it's like September, October, there is some sort of fire happening somewhere. Some years are worse than others, so it kind of depends. But if you come from a place that doesn't experience that, just know that Southern California does, and it's often, and it's normal. And well, it's not really normal, but we feel like it's normal. And same with earthquakes. If you've never felt an earthquake, it's not like they're going to be happening every day. It's not like they're crazy. But you know, you are more prone to having earthquakes here than somewhere in like Kansas, you know. So do prepare for that. I will say a tip for that is to make sure you have all of your really important documents and things that you're going to need, that just in case you have to evacuate because of a fire or something happens in an earthquake and, you know, there's debris and everything, or there's no running water. Do make sure you have your documents together, have some kind of like canned goods and bottles of water prepped in your pantry at all times. I do recommend that because we have gone without electricity and stuff for like a day, almost a full day before, which doesn't seem extreme, but you know, when you're just sitting here with nothing to do and you're hungry and you can't like microwave your pizza, like what do you do? So do have something backed up as well. All right, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was a little bit a little helpful. If you have any questions or comments or anything you want to leave for me down below, or any suggestions maybe on future videos, because I kind of like making these little tips, let me know down below in the comments what you would like to see, or if you have anything else to contribute in regards to tips about moving to Los Angeles. I would love to hear them. I'm sure other people would love to hear them as well. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video.